I feel like every year I come here and I sit down and I tell you guys my college advice as a sophomore, junior. Well, now I'm a senior. I'm graduating in May. Hi. And each year my advice honestly changes and my outlook in life changes. I honestly feel like if it hadn't changed in the past year, then I was probably doing something wrong. So fuck it. Like part 3 of this, whatever. I just feel like as someone that has fucked up a majority of the time, has done some fucked up things, who better to take advice from? Okay? All right? You gotta fuck up to know why you fucked up and what you did and how to prevent it and what you learned. And honestly, I mean, hey, there's gonna be some girls out there that need to know when to get the textbooks on and what website and what hunter boots to use on rainy days. But I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. That will not be the advice you will be getting here this time around. Okay, this is a really big one for me. Mirroring. And let's talk about it, because friendship is a huge part of college. It's more important than anything. Maybe studies might go first. They might, okay? But it beats out any other experience, okay? You're not gonna remember that Rumpelman's shot or, the guy that you took it with. It's your friendships, and that's a big part of what makes you you. And especially when you're away from your family, your friendship kind of seems to take over that aspect of importance. So consider your friendships kind of family in college, which means you're gonna fight. That's normal. But we're gonna be talking about mirroring. So it's something that I find is very important. When you're in a friendship and you're in a friend group, we mirror, okay? We can't help it. We pick up phrases, we pick up words, we pick up behaviors, completely normal. But be careful who you're sitting your mirror towards. Be careful of who you're sitting it, to look right into. Because that's just a really important thing, is you're going to pick up on people's actions, behaviors, choices, things like that, how they treat people within that. But also on the flip side, it is important to not become group thought, to not group think, to have different dynamics in a friendship, different roles, different ways of supporting people, different ways of loving people, And I think as a friend group, you do not have to ever think the same. You never have to really agree on what role everyone has to serve. Another big thing for me is boundaries, and I wish I had those more, and I bet we all do in a way, but when you're in your early 20s, late teens, boundaries are kind of the last thing that comes to mind. You're thinking about crossing them. So that's a big thing for me in friendships, relationships now. It's just something I've kind of had to learn. And one of my biggest boundaries, and I feel like one that is very important, is I should not have to stay at the table to feel confident that the conversation isn't directed at me. So what I mean is, I don't have to be scared to leave the room, to get up from the table, to be away from the conversation and think, what if they're talking about me? Because this usually means that if you're thinking that, then your conversations as friends, usually if one friend gets up, you're talking about the other and what they're doing wrong. And even sometimes if it is out of genuine concern, it can be extremely detrimental to the dynamic of your friendships. And honestly, I feel like it kind of erodes over time the level of respect you have for each other and integrity and trust. So I think it's something that's very important, as friends, reinforce the idea that you should be present in the conversations that revolve around you and your decision making. And as friends, what you have to say should not be hurtful. It should be something that you should be able to deliver to their face. So why should they have to leave, for you to talk about it, if that makes sense. That was just something very important, that I learned and have learned, and I now reinforce in all my friendships. Okay, next up, substance. Obviously, most people in college are going to drink and maybe do drugs, and this is a part of the experience, and it's never something I would cross off for anybody. And it's not even something I'm not gonna say discourage. I wouldn't encourage it and I wouldn't discourage it, but I understand. But something I wish I had known was to be aware of how it changed my decision making. And it really did. It had the tendency to affect my decision making a lot. So then the next day was filled with lots of anxiety and regret and worry, and I don't know, sometimes things are just not cut out for some people, and I'm really sensitive to it. So yeah, I don't regret it. It's part of character building, whatever. But I just want to give you guys a fair warning to be very careful, like, what you're indulging in. You know, I'm not gonna be one of those people that's like, be careful what you're doing to your body. You know what the fuck you're doing to your body, okay? Like, we'll keep it a buck, like, but I do want to say, like, just be aware on how it makes your behavior change and shift gradually, even over time. You know, it doesn't have to be that one night you acted up. Like, let's just look at, like, the period of nights. How were you acting, you know? Listen to your mind and body, and don't neglect either. Don't neglect your mind and don't neglect your body. It's so strange, but whenever I'm around someone, I don't know, I hate this feeling, but it's like sometimes I get anxiety around people, and it's not even social anxiety, it's around just certain people. I don't know, I just get a bad vibe. And I wish I was able to recognize that earlier, like that I was picking up on something. I don't know, guys, I'm not calling myself a psychic or anything, but it's just important to like listen to how you feel. Like, do you feel safe around these people? Do you feel like these people, when it came down to it, would protect you? You know, it goes for relationships, friendships, all those things. I feel like college is like the arena for like manipulators to come and play and chase and play their games, you know? And guilty. I was like that once too, but I was just playing the game, okay? Like, I didn't really want to do it at the end of the day, but I was like pretending like I liked it because I wanted to be cool. Yeah. Okay. You don't need to pretend to be emotionless. That's very much a trauma response. Having an I don't give a fuck mentality is so much hurtful than just feeling the hurt as it comes. I feel like with the, you know, that mentality, if I don't give a fuck, like, nothing's gonna hurt me, you're not gonna make me cry, like, I don't care, like, walk all over me, it's not gonna bother me. It really builds up, like, the hurt you feel, like, you can try and keep it down, but it's just gonna keep building until, like, one day it erupts, and it manifests into things like anxiety and depression and all those things. It's just not really good. Acknowledge your feelings. But most importantly, like, I know it seems like such a cute time to be like playing games with someone and being back and forth, but honestly, my friend and I were talking about it the other day, and you don't have to like Taylor Swift to listen to me. So in The Smallest Man Who Ever Lived, she said it wasn't sexy once it wasn't forbidden. And it's such a good thing to think about. I remember my axis shifting whenever I heard that, but it's like, it's so true. Take away the forbidden aspect, whatever it is, whatever makes it like so like, I don't know, feels so wrong, but just so right, like kind of thing. It's not cute once you take away that factor. Whatever it is, it's not. Yeah. So, hookup culture is a part of the scene, and even though some people don't engage in it, I'm sure like a majority of college people do. Like, let's keep it real here. I won't lie to you. Yeah, hello. But like, looking back, I read something and it was saying how, you know, being intimate with someone, it's an exchange of energy. It's an energy transfer. And I remember, you know, during times whenever I was just like not, you know, being wise, I was just like constantly like really sad. I was really anxious. I was honestly so insecure about myself. Like, literally couldn't look myself in the mirror. It was awful. And I couldn't really put my finger on it, like why this feeling just couldn't go away. And it's just because like, if you're like accepting an energy transfer, like you're accepting this energy that you know is like negative at the end of the day, like from people that really don't have like your best intent at heart, it'll weigh down on you, believe it or not, which is so crazy. Okay, my last point is you are going to experience so many highs and lows, like duh, so fucking cliche, but it is very normal, honestly, for your world to feel like it's flipped upside down a time or 20, okay? It's exhausting. You're in your early 20s. You don't have to have anything figured out, but sometimes it can all just come on you and things can just like change. Like, it's just like, I don't know, that's your 20s. And the thing is though, is you just gotta understand it and keep moving and keep vibing and like never let bad experiences X you out from making good out of whatever it was, whether it was friendships, whether it was relationships, whatever it was, your education adventure, I don't know. But don't let it bench you out for the rest of your life from enjoying the real good things. You will meet so many wonderful people, have so many wonderful experiences. And yeah, that's it. Bye.